Well, a couple of heart attack inducers last week, but you get two big wins against UCSB and UCLA. What'd you learn about your team, those two 5-set wins?
Well, the biotech companies are lining up to sponsor us for heart medication.
Yeah.
So, no, in all seriousness, it's, I've been talking for the last month. It seems like the second March 1st started, I've been talking about getting back to us. And we have. And, our success on the front end of the season largely came in big-time matches that were 4- and 5-set matches that were against the teams that are on the top part of the league with us, and our ability to stay competitive, unfortunately rope-a-dope in some respects, and kind of outlast teams into the 5th set is great. And that's to know that we still have that, and because you go through tough stretches in the season with your team, and sometimes mindset changes, and you've really got to reset. And I think our mindset changed a little bit in March as some of the adversity hit, and we've done, I think, a pretty good job of keeping the guys on course. We knew that the league, the teams above us in the league were all going to have to start playing each other, and that was going to change things. So we knew if we stayed the course, if we worked on us, which we did every day, little by little, and we kept improving, that we were going to be able to get back to that stage. Now, I don't know if we're all the way back, but we're certainly performing well in crunch time again. But to have the confidence in the process is huge, and I think our guys have the confidence in the process, and so I think you're seeing that manifest into the wins and the tight matches. And if you look at the Long Beach and UCLA matches, they were very similar in the sense that the first set wasn't quite where we wanted it to be. Second set, we came out and played great. Third set, I don't know what happened. It got away from us. We were able to pull guys off the floor, rest them, get them refocused for the 4th and eventually the 5th sets, and get Mike off the floor to take a rest for a couple rotations and have him sit down with Cam and get our offense in order for the next 2 sets. Was great, and so I think I learned that our guys are learning that the process is working. I'd say we're a little south of the Aaron Rodgers relax mode, but we're trusting the process, and we got confidence in the process, and I think that's the takeaway.
I would say the only thing at this point is the first set, maybe the second one, but what's going on there just with the slow starts in general? I know it's something we've touched on before, and there's no magic answer, but what in your best guess is going on there?
I don't know. Maybe they're fashionably late socially, and it's rolling into. I don't know. We're working on it. We are in great shape, and we're looking into some things. And when I say in great shape, physically, and you've seen us able to outlast our opponents physically. There's a lot of things. Track and field athletes wrestle with trying to get their central nervous system firing from the get-go. Especially the 100-meter guys and girls, and there's always debate about what's the best way to get ready, and so we're trying to figure out ways to get our central nervous system firing, to get our brains in the right mindset, and our bodies. We tweaked practice a little bit so that we're actually doing a portion of our match-like drills at the very beginning of practice, right after a warm-up period that's about the same time as a match. So, little by little, we're mimicking that in practice, and we think that's going to help out, and as we keep trying to tweak, and obviously as we continue to gain confidence, or more confidence in our process and our methods, then I think that's going to help out too.
You did still win the 2 matches, though, so a lot of positives to take from that.
Yeah.
But which guys stood out? 'Cause it seemed like there were a lot of big-time performances.
Yeah, I mean, even if you go back a week, there's all kinds of stuff that we can hang our hat on now. Now, as I say this, I don't want to jinx the guy, but Tui's been really solid all the way through, and he's kind of been the stable guy in the outside hitting core, and Chris and Alex have each had phenomenal nights in different matches lately. It was nice that Christian Rivera hadn't contributed a ton of late, and then he had a couple great matches in the last week and a half, and then on Saturday night, Josh came back and looked like the old Josh. So that was really cool to see. And then the other guy that's really emerged in the last week and a half is Tommy Leonard, and he's come in and given us a spark. So we've got, Tommy's got a real live arm, and it's he's been coming in for Robert, and Robert hasn't been playing poorly either. So that's the great thing is we got three middles that are all playing at a really high level. I think Bob was hitting 750 when we took him out. It was more of a nuanced thing for that. But Tommy's got a shorter arm swing than Robert does. So they both hit a really live ball or hit a heavy ball. And so it's great. It gives us a little bit of a matchup. I think Tommy's a little bit better in blocking in certain situations than Robert is. And then from the service line, Robert's probably our best serving middle blocker. So it's really gives us an option, depending on what the matchups are, to change things up if we need to. So to be able to have the ability to take out a middle that's hitting 750 for you, normally that's unheard of. But to have Tommy still be effective offensively, and then for those hitters, he was a little bit of a better blocking matchup for us, and that's what drove that. So to have those guys stand out, and then the other is the reemergence of Brooks Varney. Brooks had a tough time in March, and he's really been working at it and grinding hard, and my gosh, he's come back. He's starting to dig a ton of balls again. He's starting to run our server seed pattern and do it with confidence, and it's really cool to see Brooks reemerge. And I think Mike has been really solid, and for him, it's going to be very thin layers, behind what's obvious to people, and it's, there's a lot of talk behind the scenes with him of, sometimes the right set, is not always the right set. Sometimes you just gotta know when to be game plan and when to just feed the hot guy. And he's any setter struggles with that. He's able to understand it at a different level than just about anybody in the league. So he's working with a different set of circumstances, and him getting comfortable with that with our personnel, and also his serving. He's been into some matchups where his best serve is to their best passer. And that's just the way the matchups have worked. And he's been able to kind of tweak in game and change his service strategy. And his ace in the end of the fourth set really was what I think blew the match open for us. In his ability to stay patient. I think that's the best job he's done all year in that UCLA match, was stay in the course with his serve, to keep serving his serve, not having to change up too much, and stick to his plan and just chip away and chip away and chip away, and eventually that block of granite's going to split, and it did. And so that was, the standout part for him. So pretty much everybody's had something happen for him that's really been a big breakthrough. So yeah, I think the other thing that's been huge is our coaching team has been unbelievable. They're great, but I think they've been really locked in, and they've been making some fantastic calls from the bench, giving me great information. Everybody from Jason Kennedy, our technical coordinator, to John Shea, our volunteer assistant. I mean, he's been employee of the month pretty much for like the last 2 months, and then Cam and Nygaard have been fantastic and giving great information, being aggressive and knowing their stuff, and they've been a huge help to me. And there's a lot of, you get in these matches and there is so much to manage with, the mentality of the team and trying to get them back on track, and that's been largely my focus. And so it's enabled me, these guys being nails in their specific roles as assistants, has really enabled me to go big picture and to fill in whatever I needed to do. And I think those guys have, my staff has really upped their game, and they've been fantastic to help us get to the next level. And then the things that you don't see is how on top of it they've been in the gym with us, and with the team. They've been really stuck with it, and we're bringing different guys in, when the meat and potatoes of practice is over, and working on the nuances of, you know, some of the outside hitters passing balls in certain spots, still getting to their attack route. Been really, really excited with how the coaching team's been working too.